Okay. Now, if you click on actual service, then the code generator kicks in, so you can generate the code using whatever the flavors are against that particular Grails object, which I believe is very, very powerful. Okay. The same thing is true for RTMP. If you were to create a data push over RTMP from your Grails backend to, let's say, Flex client, then it's also a possibility. Okay, so it opens up a wide variety of the various very cool things that you can start doing with WebORB. Okay, now just to demonstrate something else, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my service. I'm going to modify the code a little bit. All right, so here it is. We do have this method that returns a list of all the products. But let's also add a method that looks something like this. Okay, get products by price. Okay, so let's say we want to add a method where we can look up all the products where the price is greater than a certain value. Okay, so let's say get product by price greater than. And here's the price argument. So Grails can do a lot of very cool things with just by playing with method names. And it's very similar to the way WebORB data management works on the client side. So here we can say product find all by price greater than. Okay, and put price parameter in there. So this is a Grails method that we are just relying on. And let's also add another method and say get products by name, like. And here the method is going to be find by name, like. Okay, and put the name parameter. Okay. Unfortunately, since I didn't start it with a special parameter, I have to rerun my Grails app, and then we should be able to see these two new methods in the WebORB console. Okay, so now WebORB is starting up. All right, and let's just click refresh and go into Grails, services, product, and here it is. We have three methods now. So let's invoke get products first. And here it is, all the products. But notice that the name on some of them, let's say on these two, has Nokia 3100. Okay, so let's just call get products by name, and put it into percentage sign Nokia 3100%. Click invoke, and here it is. We have two Nokias. And also right here, if we invoke it again, notice that the price, let's say 109 is somewhere in the middle. So if we want to say, get all the products where the price is greater than 110, invoke, and now we have the two that the price is greater than 110. So all the powerful things that Grails can do for you can now be fully leveraged by all the clients that WebORB supports. And I believe this is something that is very, very powerful. Okay, so that's the Grails integration. And we have only 9 minutes left, so let me stop that Grails server and switch to WebORB and show you one more thing that I believe is also something very, very cool that is included in version 4.1. Okay, so I'm going into my WebORB management console for the standalone version of WebORB. And it doesn't have to be standalone. WebORB can be deployed in a variety of different servers. So now one of the new things that you will see in 4.1, if you go into messaging server, previously we had just messaging applications. Okay. Now one new thing that we added is the support for destinations. So these are the messaging destinations that WebORB hosts. And those are the destinations that can be declared in webinf flex messaging-config.xml. Okay. Now, the reason it is web in Flex is kind of by notation that Flex clients expect, and we kind of kept it in there, but it's no longer just a Flex. So some of the cool things that you can do is for any destinations you can select We can see the summary. You can see the message throughput for messages coming in, messages going out, so you can see how loaded that particular destination is. Destinations can be linked to JMS as this one is, and you can see all the properties for those destinations. It's the channel that it's using. So this destination is configured for polling. Okay, this one is also for polling. So this is kind of just the general view of the destination. Now, where things get really cool is, let's say, code generation. So what this does is that for these clients, which we support initially, you can generate all the publish subscribe code to work with that specific destination. So it's for Flex clients, Flash, AJAX, and Java. And just by clicking this radio button, you get the client-side code, and this is JavaScript code, that will give you producer-consumer functionality to work with that specific destination. Okay? And then when you download this code, you get a fairly nice chat app, and it is chat for demonstration purposes, but you can use it for really anything to send messages to this destination. And you can mix those types of clients any way you want to. So you could have an AJAX client communicating with an Android client, and vice versa, where you could have your Java code push messages over that destination to all connected clients, regardless where they came from and what environment they use. Okay, so that's the code generation. Test drive is something that you can use to either test your destination or really see what is going through your destination. So here, you can create a test consumer, and let's just call him Bob, and you can specify your selector and subtopic and subscribe to that destination. So now we have one subscriber connected to this destination. So if anyone else out there uses the same destination and sends messages to it, then Bob, as a subscriber, will start receiving those messages if the selector matches and if it uses the same subtopic. In fact, you can play with it from here. So this is our publisher, and just say hi Bob and click publish, and here it is. Here's the message. Okay, it uses polling. So now, in fact, let me open another instance of the console. Go to messaging server, chat destination, test drive, and let's call this guy, this subscriber Joe. Okay, so the message was still sitting there, and let's send a message that says, hi guys, publish. Since it uses polling, there is a delay. So now this guy, Joe received this message, and if we switch here, Bob received this message too. So that demonstrates that those subscribers are completely independent of each other, but they are connected to the same destination. So we believe this is going to be a very, very convenient and powerful way not only to test your destinations, but to administer them and really see what kind of messages are flowing through. And that was really the last feature that I wanted to talk to you about today. There are a few others that I didn't mention, and we're going to reserve them until a later date when 4.1 actually hits the download street. But if you have any questions, I'll be very happy to answer them. Okay, so there's a question. If we have looked into Spring Roo with Flex and Flex scaffolding plugin as well. No, to tell you the truth, we have not, but I'm going to make a note of it and definitely look into it. Now, one of the things that we are going to do as far as Flex scaffolding, we do have I'm not sure if you know about that, but our data management code generator enables you to create both client-side and server-side code from a data model. Okay, so it's kind of database first type of philosophy. We are revamping it where it will be even more powerful, where not only it will support different types of clients, where native JavaScript clients can start leveraging all the data management functionality, but we're also considering supporting it in the same way as Rails or Grails does it, where you define the model, the data objects, domain objects first, and then everything kind of scaffolds from there. All right. Stan is asking if there's anything new in data management. So the data management, there are no new major features in 4.1. There are a lot of bug fixes and smaller improvements. a new major feature as far as data management that is coming is going to be support for different types of clients. First, I believe it is going to be JavaScript and Air. Well, Air is already supported, so there's going to be just some minor changes for Air to make it easier to deploy on Android devices. And then later down the line, we're adding iOS support as well as native Java and .NET support. In .NET, it's going to be for Windows Phone 7. Now, the goal for this year is really to have a full coverage as far as all major client sites and all the backends, whether they're running standalone or in the cloud. Okay, so the question is on when is the expected release date for 4.1? Excellent question. So I really would prefer not to give any time frames now, because one of the things that I really want to do in 4.1 is to have rock solid documentation. So our documentation is kind of lagging behind. So more than likely what we're going to do is we're going to put a beta out just to buy us a little bit more time to get the documentation in place. And then once it is complete, then 4.1 is going to go into production. To give you an estimate of when 4.1 may be available, I suspect it's going to be no less than 3-4 weeks, because there is a little bit more work that's left to be done for polishing and just getting the basic documentation in place. I'm going to take more questions, but I'm going to start a quick poll. If you could take a moment to answer, but I'll continue answering questions. Okay, when are you expecting to add support for iOS? So as far as the iOS, the work was just started, okay? And the way we're going to address iOS is we will provide RPC, remote procedure call support first, and that will include code generation, some basic samples that demonstrate how to put together an application that uses WebORB AMF support for iOS clients. And after that, we're going to add messaging. And then after that, we're going to add data management. Our goal is in the next, I would say, 3-4 months, is to definitely have RPC fully documented with code generation. It should not take long to add messaging after that. By the end of this year, we're definitely going to support full-blown iOS, which includes data management as well. Okay, the question is whether our Air support includes offline data synchronization. Now, that's one of the improvements that we're adding in data management, is that the generated code will, for the client side, will support offline data synchronization out of the box. We kind of have it ready today, but it doesn't give you this out-of-the-box experience that you would probably expect. So you can get it done today, but it will require a little bit of work. And then with an improvement that we're putting in place, it will just work out of the box, where things will pretty much be magical in the way it works. Okay, question is what version of WebSphere MQ will be supported? Now, the version that we have out there today, 4.0.3, already supports WebSphere MQ. Let me do a quick search just to refresh my memory on what version of WebSphere MQ we support today. I believe the version that we have integrated, I believe it was 7.0 is what we support. Are you supporting WCF endpoints from your various clients? Absolutely. So as far as WCF, there is a very, very powerful support for WCF. In fact, to read about it, if you go to midnightcoders.com, I'm going to actually show you how to get there. So if you go to our homepage and then products, and then select WebORB for .NET, and click on Developer Den, and this is where all the developer-related resources are. And then in the Developer's Guide, you will see WCF integration. Okay, so all of these WCF integration items are applicable to WCF. And we do support WCF services hosted in IIS or standalone. In fact, you can just add an AMF endpoint to your standalone WCF service. So it's definitely supported in there as well.